We're only around 15 games into this NBA season, and I could already name at least 10 players who are playing at a crazy level. So this brings up the question, which NBA player is going to win MVP this season? I'm going to go over the top 5 players which have the highest chance of becoming MVP, with the most likely person being at the end, so make sure to stay until all the way. Also, if you aren't already, make sure to subscribe for more NBA and basketball related videos. It's completely free, and if down the road you realize that you don't like my content, it's just as easy to unsubscribe. Before I get into the top 5, here are some honorable mentions who came up just short. Giannis Antetokounmpo, CJ McCollum, and Paul George are all playing exceptionally well, but as of right now, they just fall short on the top 5 players for MVP. But as the season progresses, this could change drastically. Now that that's out the way, let's actually start. Coming in at number 5, we have Steph Curry, who's having a great start to his season coming off of a wrist injury. So far in the season, he's averaging 28 points, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds, including a crazy 62-point game against the Portland Trail Blazers. There aren't that many people who are putting up numbers like this, so why is Steph ranked 5th? Well, usually in the past, the NBA MVP trophy is given to a player whose team is on the top, and it hasn't been going that well for the Warriors so far. The team has been betting heavily on Curry when it comes to their offense, and on nights where he can't deliver as well, they're pretty much lost. Kelly Oubre Jr. and Andrew Wiggins have to step it up for the Warriors to have a winning record and make the playoffs, and in turn helping Steph Curry to have a shot at winning his 3rd MVP, which would pretty much solidify him as one of the top 10 basketball players of all time. Moving on to number 4 spot, we have LeBron James, who's moving into year 18. It's absolutely crazy how this man's name still pops up when we talk about the MVP award, even though he's 36 years old. So far into the season, he's averaging 24 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, and 1 steal per game, while shooting 48% from the field, which is absolutely crazy. He's also the leader of his team and is the primary reason why the Lakers are the number 1 team in the whole NBA right now, which is what makes him rank a spot higher than Curry. Another thing that makes this a lot more crazy is that LeBron's doing all of this while playing an average of 31 minutes per night, which is a career low. Obviously, with his age and all, it's a pretty smart idea to not play him as much so that he's less likely to get injured and his body is at a better state when the playoffs roll around. But imagine what his numbers would be like if he actually played the minutes that some of the other players on this list are. I looked at a bunch of other rankings for MVP on the internet, and everybody's ranking LeBron a lot higher, but I personally don't see it that way because of the amount of help he has on his team. If you're playing with players like Anthony Davis, Marc Gasol, Montrezl Harrell, and Dennis Schroeder, it's obviously a lot easier to be a top team. And well, the pressure isn't on you as much to deliver offensively. I know that most of us have also seen LeBron making the finals with almost no other help from his team during the 2018 season, but still for this year, I wouldn't rank him any higher than the 4th spot. Coming in at number 3, we have Joel Embiid. Unlike the other 2 players on this list, Embiid's performance could possibly be a fluke, but if he actually continues to play at this level, he's easily MVP worthy. This man's averaging 25 points, 11.5 rebounds, 1.4 steals, and 1.5 blocks per game, while leading his team to a record of 9-5, which is 3rd in the Eastern Conference. He's also had a monster game versus the Heat, 45 points and 16 rebounds. There are a lot of ifs and a long road for Embiid to be an MVP, but the groundwork is being laid. No one in Philly has even been in the conversation since Allen Iverson, which is a super long time. Perhaps the biggest roadblock for MVP Embiid is his role. He's not a primary ball handler, which makes it a lot harder for him to win the award in the current NBA. But if Embiid continues the way he's playing and does well in the postseason, I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up holding the trophy at the award show. Alright, for number 2, we have someone whose name has been coming up every day this season, and that's Kevin Durant. Nobody expected him to be anywhere near as good as he was before his injury, but well, instead of being rusty after an Achilles injury, Durant came back even better. He's putting up career numbers with 30.6 points, 7 rebounds, and almost 6 assists per game. He's certainly pulling his weight on an underperforming Brooklyn team. With the Nets recently trading for former MVP James Harden, their record is set to increase, which only boosts Durant's place on this list. And honestly, considering how far this team is likely going to go this season, I'll think Kevin is in a pretty good spot for MVP conversation. I know for everyone else playing on a super team is considered a negative thing in the MVP talk, but it kinda works in favor of Durant in this situation. What do all 3 stars on the Nets have in common? Well, they're all heavy ISO players and need the ball in their hands to score. James Harden is dropping over 30 points so far, and obviously most of those points are from one-on-one situations. When Kyrie returns, he's going to be the exact same as James Harden, so all this means that there are less opportunities for KD to score. With that being said, he still has the second most points per game, only behind Bradley Beal, and that's something that can't be overlooked. For Kevin Durant, it'll all pretty much come down to how well Brooklyn's chemistry works and how far they'll go in the playoffs. All we can know for sure is that Durant is back and is proving the league once more that he's one of the best offensive players of all time. Okay, we finally reached the top MVP candidate so far, and it's no other than Nikola Jokic. You might have not seen this coming considering how the Denver Nuggets are the ninth seed right now and aren't really making that much noise, but I'm telling you, Jokic has been having one of the best seasons of his career. It's almost crazy to say a player who has already been a two-time All-Star and a first-team All-NBAer is only continuing to get better, but that's exactly what's going on. This season, he's been averaging a triple-double with 24 points, 10.9 rebounds, and 10.5 assists per game, with a crazy 66% shooting from the floor. He's also leading the league in 5 of the most popular catch-all advanced metrics: player efficiency rating, win shares per 48 minutes, box plus minus, and value over replacement player. But like all other players, there's a problem with Nikola Jokic as well, and that's obviously the Nuggets' performance. The team is hugely underperforming considering how they made the Western Conference Final last year. Jamal Murray has been having a slow start to the season, and the team hasn't been able to find any other solid options after Michael Porter Jr. got injured. But if they can figure that out and all the players on this list continue performing at the level they are right now, I pretty much believe that Nikola Jokic has the highest chance of winning MVP this season. If you made it this far into the video, you might as well go ahead and subscribe so that you'll be able to get more videos like this. And I promise you there aren't that many people making these, so if you want to see content that's about nowhere else, you should subscribe. Also comment on the video if you have a different take on the MVP race. I'm actually pretty interested to see what you all think. Well, that's pretty much it. I'll see you in the next video.